Bonjour, it's me, Madame Johnson, one of the virtual course creators for our French 1 virtual campus class, and today we're going to talk about what is in section 1.3. In section 1.1, we talked about greeting people, saying hello, introducing ourselves. In section 1.2, we talked about asking how people are doing and how to respond when somebody asks us how we are doing. We also talked about the difference between tu and vous. And in section 1.3, we're going to wrap up all of what we're learning with inviting somebody to do something and then responding to people's invitations, either saying, yes, I'd like to do that, or no, I can't. So that's what we're going to talk about today, everything in section 1.3. And these are the big questions for this section. We have on va and tu voudrais aller. And each of these questions means exactly the same thing. These questions would be what you would use to invite someone to go somewhere or to do something. On va means, do you want to go? Or should we go? Or should one go? And then tu voudrais aller is a little bit more polite, and it's also the same way of asking, do you want to go somewhere? And a really important word in tu voudrais aller that we may need to know in the future is aller. And aller means to go. So if you remember that aller means to go, that might help you to remember tu voudrais aller. And then on va is also related to aller in a way that you'll find out eventually. So when you ask these questions, you can ask them on your own. It's totally fine to say, do you want to go or should we go? And those are questions on their own. But if you want to be more specific and ask if somebody wants to go to a specific place, you have many options. And in fact, there are more options than what you're given in this course. We're just starting a few for today. So we have two different words, though, that we need to talk about. There's o and there is la. And both of those mean exactly the same thing. O and la both mean to or at, the. So these two terms are the same. And there's a reason why we use them for different words, and it has to do with gender, meaning masculine and feminine words. We're not going to talk a whole lot about gender this time, but it's just important for you to remember that O goes with these 4 places, and Allah goes with these 3 places. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So places that you can tack on to on va or tu voudrais aller. We have au centre commercial. So if I said on va au centre commercial, I'm asking, do you want to go to the mall? If I said on va au cinéma, I'd be asking, do you want to go to the cinema or the movies? Or should we go to the movies? If I asked on va au café, I'm asking, do you want to go to the cafe or should we go to the cafe? And if I asked on va au concert, I'm asking, should we go to the concert or do we want to go to the concert? And you could use exactly the same phrasing with tu voudrais aller. Just tack these onto the end of this question and you're asking, do you want to go someplace? The same goes with these over here. We have à la fête, à la maison, and à la bibliothèque. To the party, to the house or to our home, and to the library. So you could ask the same things. On va à la fête, on va à la maison, and on va à la bibliothèque. And those 3 terms are asking, should we go to the party, should we go to the house, or should we go to the library? So that is the bulk of questioning and asking if you want to invite somebody to go someplace. You have, and there are more than this, but these are the 4 that we're giving you this time. You have 4 possible responses if you want to accept an invitation. You can say d'accord, and that means okay. That's simple enough. You can say oui, je veux bien, which means yes, I'd like to, or I'd love to. You can say bonne idée, which means great idea. And you can say pourquoi pas, which means why not? So you have options, as we do in everything we say in French. If you wanted to decline an invitation for maybe a reason like you have to do something or really you just don't want to go, you can say pas possible. Pas possible means not possible. It's impossible. I can't go. And je ne peux pas, which means I'm not able to go or I can't. And then if you want to tack on a reason to that, sometimes that's a nice thing to do. I mean, if somebody asks you, do you want to go to the movies? And you said, impossible. That's kind of awkward. So you want to maybe soften it a little bit with a reason or even an excuse. So you could say like, pas possible. Je dois faire mes devoirs. And je dois faire mes devoirs means I must do my homework. And I'm going to write that. How about we'll erase here. Je dois means I have to or I must. So we have je dois. Je means I and dois means must. So you can actually use je dois with any of these expressions. You could say, well, actually you couldn't at this point. Sometime you will. But you could say je dois faire mes devoirs. And I'm going to erase a little bit more over here. And if we said je dois faire mes devoirs, that literally means I must do my homework. And if you hear that in the background, that's my cat, Oscar. He's a very vocal cat. He probably sees a squirrel. So anyway, we have one possible reason or excuse. I must do my homework. Je dois faire mes devoirs. That's an option. Another thing that you could say is j'aide. And that means I am helping. Oops. Oh, that doesn't work on that board. I am helping. And there's a bunch of people that you could help. You could say j'aide ma prof, j'aide ma sœur, j'aide mon frère. Those are other options that you'll learn eventually. But the two that we're talking about this time are ma mère and mon père. So we have these words mon and ma, and they just mean my. And again, that kind of goes back to gender of words, which we will be talking about at some point soon. But for now, I just want you to remember that ma means my, and mon also means my. And mère means mother, and père means father. So if you said j'aide ma mère, you'd be saying I am helping my mother. And if you said j'aide mon père, you'd be saying I am helping my father. So that's pretty much this unit. I don't know that there's anything else to discuss in this part, but we will talk a little bit more in a different video all about the difference between the O and the a la. And say, oh, there's Oscar again, in saying to or at the, like to the or at the, and saying just regular old the. The is le or la. But I'm going to record a separate video about that to explain that. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Bonne journée, la classe de virtual français. Au revoir.